So, if you've been on the internet at all the past day, you know that the 3x3 world record single has just been broken with 3.47 seconds. That's insane. How many people even have that kind of time at home? So what you might not know is as it was happening, there was a bit of controversy going on online about the world record because obviously it's such a big time difference that some people didn't want to believe it. So I'll walk you guys through the excitement and the confusion of what was going on when it first happened. But before we talk about that, Christmas is coming soon, and if you don't know what to get for your mom or your dad, then consider getting them one of these cubing shirts. Parents have actually come up to me at competitions asking if I have any clothes for moms or dads, like cubing parents. And I had actually not thought about making something like that before, but turns out if your parents go to competitions with you, they'll probably really love something like this. I know that in the past when I was buying gifts for my parents, I would just kind of get random stuff because who knows what parents want. But just as a general rule for buying gifts for parents, if you get them something that reminds them of you, then they'll tend to love it a lot more. And also, everything is 20% off until the end of December if you visit the link in the description to go to the store. So back to the topic. When everyone heard the news that the world record was 3.47, well, first of all, if it was something like low 4, people might have believed it right away. But for 3.47, a lot of really fast cubers don't even have that kind of time at home. And also, it was done by a Chinese cuber, which actually made some complications for it when everyone first heard about it. So a lot of world records, whether they're broken in like Australia, Europe, North America, South America, a lot of these places use cubecomps.com. So that's where you can find live results of world records. But in China, they use their own thing, which is Cubing China. And so a lot of people didn't see it on cubecomps. So that's why a lot of people didn't realize it wasn't a joke at first. And also, if you're watching this video right now, you have YouTube. And in China, they don't have YouTube. They don't have Facebook. So it was a little bit harder to get information across. So next, as some sort of proof, people wanted to see a video of it. Of course, you want to see a video of the world record, and every world record pretty much has had a video so far. But then we only saw pictures. And then, of course, if you're seeing a bunch of pictures, that probably means there was no video. So it turns out nobody filmed this solve. So obviously some people were starting to wonder if the solve was faked. And while I think a lot of people were being skeptical because they didn't want to believe it, there were also people who had a reason for not wanting to believe this because a lot of things like this have happened before. So some people were thinking this could be something like that, especially because there was no video, but there were pictures, and I think for me that was proof enough, because if you have a picture of the time and then that time gets entered, there's no way that was a data entry mistake. Another thing that made people skeptical was they didn't know who he was, which is expected because where I saw a lot of these discussions was on Facebook, and there's no Facebook in China, so obviously he has no way of communicating with these people. I'm sure people in China know who he is, but people here were just like, who is this guy? So his name in Chinese, you move the last name to the front, and then in Chinese it's pronounced Yusheng. But I'm sure a lot of people now just know him as Yusheng, which I think is kind of funny because he uses a Moyu cube, but his name sounds like Yushin. And speaking of Moyu, if you look at their prize list here, there's this crazy big prize for getting a sub for 3x3 single, and he did it. So he got $13,000. That's crazy. You could get $13,000 for solving a cube. What the heck? If you look at a graph of the history of 3x3 world records, you can see that there was this really big drop off over here when Eric Ackersteig, hope I pronounced that right, he got 7.08 when the previous world record was 8.72. And next to that, we saw another big drop off that happened with a whole bunch of solves at once, and that's when Felix was way better than everyone else. Then the world records got steady for a while, and then we got magnetic cubes, and all of a sudden more world records started to show up again. And you can see this one here, I personally don't think it'll get broken for a long time, but if you just look at it, we've been getting tons of world records lately, and so I hope to be proven wrong because it's always exciting to see a new world record. But I will admit, that's just me being rational about this. When I first heard that this world record happened, I also just a little bit on the inside didn't want to believe it, and I think that's because why a lot of people didn't want to believe it at first was because this is just a little bit too fast. And what I mean is there are a decent number of people who, given a lucky enough solve, could have gotten world record. So my best solve at home since a while ago was not close to the world record. So I didn't think it was likely at all that I could get a world record in competition. But there are a lot of people who averaged a little bit faster than me who were capable of it, and now they're thinking they're not that capable of it. So I'm not sure if everyone else thinks that way as well, but I was thinking about it a little bit. Not to say that I was expecting to get world record at a competition or anything, but there are a lot of people who are thinking that way, and now they're not, because the world record has just improved by almost a whole second. There are probably like 10 or less people who have gotten this sort of time on a stack mat in their life. So this is just an incredible world record. Even though it wasn't someone in the very top who broke the record, this guy is still amazing. He has many sub 8 averages in comp. And if you look at the averages that he tends to get, it doesn't really reflect that, but I think that's part of the reason why this whole like controversy happened, because he wasn't filming the solve, right? And if you look at his official result, he has a 7 average in competition. That means he probably averages like 7 at home. And the fact that he can't consistently produce that sort of result means he probably gets a lot of nerves in competition. And if you get a lot of nerves, you don't want to add pressure to yourself by filming it. So to me, it makes total sense that this solve was not filmed. You just take one look at his results and he just doesn't seem like the type of person who would want to film his solves. Jaden McNeil just made a video talking about this topic, how it could be better for you if you don't film your results, even if you're really fast. For example, Max Park got this 6x6 world record, which in my opinion was totally legit, but he touched the camera during inspection, and there's just some WCA rule that says you can't do that. And because of instances like this where you record your solves and as a result you get punished, people like Alex Lau, who were like world class back in the day, he wanted no one to film his solves. And we do have a video of him solving in competition and getting a 5, but he didn't record it himself and he clearly doesn't know that this is going on. So we actually did end up getting a video of this solve, although it wasn't a great video. As you can see, it's really blurry because this is surveillance video. No one was actually there filming the solve. And this is not even raw footage of the video. This is someone recording the screen that's displaying the surveillance video. Anyway, I'm really glad we got some sort of video so people would just be quiet about whatever controversy was going on about this. And so I know a lot of you guys dream about this happening to you. You don't necessarily need to be world class to get world record, and that's always been this really cool thing that gives a lot of people hope. And so if this happened to you, you'd want people to celebrate your world record and not be skeptical of it. Right now, I don't see any reason to be skeptical of it, and I think this is like an early Christmas for all of us. And I think a world record happening is always a good thing because now everyone's goals go that much farther. And I think that's good because it just pushes cubing a little bit further. So let's see a reconstruction of the solve and what we can learn from this. So here was the scramble done on white top and green front. And so the solve ended up being done on red cross. So I'm gonna show you guys on white cross because you'll probably be able to see things better if you're not color neutral. So how to do that is just put white on the side here where red was and then do the scramble. So again, this isn't truly the scramble he got. I just made it show up on white cross so that it's easier to understand. So here we have the blue cross piece here, orange here, green and red are solved. So we have a pair down here and a pair over here. So he managed to preserve both of these. And so first he inserted blue here to take this pair out. Then for orange, instead of doing L, F prime, L prime, which would break up the orange-green pair, he did F prime first to preserve it. And then just something you have to know, this front pair is not affected when you do L, F prime, L prime. Okay, but instead of just doing that, as he did this, he realized he could cancel into inserting this pair into the back. So he inserted a U prime here and then continued. And amazingly, that made this pair show up. So inserted that, and then this one and this one, like paired up like that, and then insert. And next, this is just back soon. And that's it. The first thing I noticed during this cross was that orange and this pair were super easy to put in here, so that's actually what I did first instead of doing blue first. And the solution that Yusheng did here is actually better than what I did because if I do this first, the cross actually has one less move, but this one ends up not being inserted into here and you have to insert it now. So that's what I did that was a little bit worse. So after inserting the blue piece and then inserting orange here, he was probably looking ahead to this piece and this piece and noticed that they would set up like this and then insert that. And then, so, you know, the things here are not quite that hard. Then here for soon, there's actually a couple ways you can do the soon case. And one of them he did here is back soon, which is the correct one. And the one you might be more familiar with is anti-soon from this angle, where you do it like this. So what we can learn here is that it's actually really good to recognize when your PLL will skip. So what we can see here is this block, and in this little 2x2 square, if one of them is a block, then you should probably check if there's going to be a PLL skip, or at least try and preserve this block. And how you can preserve it is make sure that your first move goes parallel to the block. So what that means is since the block goes this way, then he did soon here, or back soon, so his first move went parallel because this is like parallel directions, and that preserves the block. Meanwhile, if you had done anti-soon here, then you have the block going like this. Anti-soon goes this way as the first move, and that destroys the block. Or at least it doesn't go parallel to the block, and that's how you know that the block will not get preserved. Now, having a block here doesn't always mean you're going to PLL skip, but if you look over here and see this is another block, so it kind of makes like a Y perm sort of shape, or there's also another block over here, then that's how you know that this is going to PLL skip. That's just one part. You also have to recognize the corners, but you know, I have a video talking about that, so I'm not going to talk about that here. It's a bit too complex. And lastly, this solve could have been like a high 3 if you only knew it was going to PLL skip but didn't know which direction to AUF afterwards. What you can do here is notice that this block over here, after the soon, it's always going to move over by a U2. So that's what he actually recognized during the solve. So he knew the orange block was going to end up over here. And then, so afterwards, he just did a U. And then that was like a really, really fast part of the solve that if he had not recognized that sooner, then you could cause like panic on the last move. I'll link Yusheng's YouTube channel in the description. This was like an early Christmas. World records are always a really exciting time, especially for 3x3, and especially if it's not from somebody that we expected to get the world record. So this was super exciting. I hope you also found this world record exciting, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. And also 20% off till the end of December if you use the link in the description. Go get those clothes.